Hello, it's Mama. So something I was really curious about in the Lisa series are the Warlords. How did they get into power? I know, cause they're strong. But we can still discuss what makes the Warlords special, and dive a little deeper into why they are ranked as they are. We're gonna start from the bottom and work our way to the top, baby. Spoilers alert. Let's go. Number 9. Hawk, Hollywood. Lisa the Painful. Well, isn't he a flashy fellow? Wearing an American flag, doing the Ric Flair, woo! He's even hated by his own group, which is just funny as fuck. He also has a Joy Mutant form in Pain mode, which makes him another Joy Mutant fight you have to do when playing on that mode. So, he is dead last on the list. Out of all the Warlords, he's definitely the least threatening. His own men won't even back him up. I do wonder how he made it on the list in the first place. I have this theory that he used to have a massive army, but because he was so annoying, people just left him. I suppose the men he still has left are just mates who use Hawk's land to hang out in. Number 8. Han Tsunami, Lisa the Painful. The devil of the Bath Boys. His surname suggests he's from Japan, because the word tsunami comes from the Japanese language, which means waves. Plus, it appears him and his men have special tattoos, which look like the ones the Yakuza have, aka the Mafia. It's just a theory. So yeah, you could say he's a Yakuza ocean man. His gang runs the bathhouse. Plus, it's guarded by a rando soldier called Spoony V, who alone is hella scary. I do wonder why he's there. Maybe Rando made a deal with Han? We don't know. Anywho, why is Han above Hawk? How did he get the 8th place? In my opinion, this is because Han does more dangerous activities, such as having a Joy Mutant in his bathhouse, and kidnapping Toby. He's definitely not a flashy type. Hell, he even offers Brad to leave before fighting. He has some honor. In editing here, and I just found out that all of Han's men are named after Japanese comedians. I never knew that. That's actually pretty cool. Number 7. Buff Van Dijk, Lisa the Painful. It's the Kickstarter character? Maybe. If you don't know, Austin kickstarted Lisa the Painful, and there are tiers. There is the Big Boss Man tier, that gives you the chance to be a boss of a gang. Plus, the previous reward, known as the Barroom Hero tier, lets you be an actual recruitable party member. Put 2 and 2 together, and potentially Buff Van Dijk is a Kickstarter character, but we just don't know. But in my opinion, I like to believe he's one, because it makes him more interesting. So, Buff Van Dijk used to play college ball, and has a pretty badass design. That's really it. Alright, he's number 7 on the list, yet he doesn't really have a big gang. Hell, he doesn't even do dangerous stuff like Han does. So why is he above Han and Hawk? Reputation and his toolbox. He was a football player. People know he's not just for show. He's hella strong. Plus, resources are a limited thing in the world of Ole, foreshadowing the 4th name on the list. That toolbox is important. It used to help craft the bolt Brad used, but in general it has many utilities. I know it sounds silly, but having a toolbox is a pretty big deal. That's just my take though. I can see how people would disagree with me. I don't know, I feel like you could do so much with that toolbox. It's really precious. Number 6. Vega Van Dam, Lisa the Joyful. It's just a discounted Hawk really. He even has his own little flashy gimmick like Hawk does. And he has his own Vega land. Jesus. For real, there's not much to be said about him, but you could argue he's just like Hawk. Even his name could be another wrestling reference. So he's number 6 on the list. My bet is his men are overall stronger than the previous gangs. He has 2 very tall boys as bodyguards, plus some of his men such as Johnny and Joey have equipment. It's really strange how he got the 6th place on the list. I will mention this because someone will, and if I don't, they will just go Wee! But in Lisa the Vegaful, a fan game focusing on Vega and his men, it puts the idea forward that Vega was really popular and he had an army that died. It's definitely interesting to think about. It's too bad and joyful we don't know much about Vega. Number 5. Mr. Beautiful, Lisa the Joyful. Mr. Beautiful is by far the most interesting warlord in my opinion. He believes in pacifism. He hates the title warlord, but his name is on the list because the other warlords and Rando respect what he's done. He has a massive piece of land that's violent free, a community about love and caring for one another. Plus, he's no cakewalk. In his 3rd phase, his hits are pretty dangerous. It's very clear why he's number 5 on the list. He's very respected. As much as that sounds wonderful, Austin clearly added hints that suggest Mr. Beautiful is kinda a sinister person, or he did some questionable things to achieve what he wanted. He's based off Shako Asahara, a real-life cult leader. Without going into a history lesson, his cult was responsible for some vile stuff such as a chemical weapons attack. Mr. Beautiful and BB Land is a cult. Like, how and why are all the men dressed up as babies? What exactly happened to them? What did Mr. Beautiful do to them? Some say it was drugs, others say he tortured them, broke their minds. Maybe Mr. Beautiful had 100 speech, we don't know, but when exploring BBB Land, it feels off somehow. Regardless, it's definitely one of the more memorable aspects of Lisa the Joyful. Number 4. Lyle Hernandez, Lisa the Joyful. Goods and supplies. This is why he's number 4. To be honest, Lyle is such a boring character. He does the dealings and is in charge of the supplies coming into the land of Olathe. And I don't know what else to say. He owns trucks and a really big one. He does look cool, I guess, with the double guns. Woo! I don't know what to say. He's boring. Say what you want about Vega, if he's a Hawk clone or not. But he's funny at least. Yes, his role is important and the other warlords respect what he does, but there isn't really a lot to say. If you think he's the best one, I wanna know why. Also, the soup is more memorable than him. Look at that, we're in the top 3, baby. Number 3, Dijk Morone, Lisa the Joyful. Bites, 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 they go vroom vroom. Nah, for real though. Dijk has, in my opinion, the slickest looking area. His gang's outfit is nice, and the music that plays in his area is so dope. Plus, finding him as a Joy Mutant makes him unique from the other warlords. It's very clear to me why he's number 3. The gear his men have, the amount of men he has. At the same time, he was a Joy user. His men probably took Joy too. Unlike the other two coming up, Dijk Morone didn't really organise or discipline his gang, or even himself. Sure, they were a threat to the lower ranked warlords, but not being fully organised is the difference between him and the top 2 warlords. Number 2, Cindy Gallows, Lisa the Joyful. This motherfucker is so powerful that some even said that he should be number 1 on the list. He survived being hanged and he can still fight. Jesus! So like, Cindy Gallows not only formed a really decently sized army, but was smart about it too. He made sure to use bows and spears. That's resources made from trees and other materials. He made an army to fight Joy Mutants safely and smartly, not close up or face to face like Brad and his men, but from afar, without using tools such as guns that could run out of bullets. Cindy is a smart person. The only reason why he was hanged because some of his men became obsessed with Joy Mutants and from the inside started a civil war. Cindy wasn't expecting it. He was caught off guard, which is sad because his goals are respectable. He understood the horror of Joy and the destructive power of the Joy Mutants. He wanted to put an end to it and protect what's left of humanity. Plus, he is not a goddamn pussy! And number 1, Big Lincoln, Lisa the Joyful, Big L. To be honest, there isn't really much to say about him. He is by far the strongest warlord. He's also very decent. He buries those who have tried to kill him. He has loyal men who don't even flinch, whose loyalty you can't buy. They would throw down their lives for Big L. It's clear from the area he's in that he doesn't really want power or influence. He just wants to be left alone. I think the other warlords put his name on the number 1 spot. He's sort of like a monk. He doesn't want to fight, but he will if he has to. He is very powerful too. Admittedly, it is kind of lame. It turns out the number 1 spot goes to someone who's just very powerful, no ideologies, such as Cindy or Mr. Beautiful, but this is an example of show don't tell. If you have theories on who he is and his backstory, let me know. Also, nice one Austin, letting the world know that you're a disgusting furry, giving a furry to the number 1 spot. Ugh, haha, joking. We all know Austin and Big L aren't furries, but furries are disgusting, and they make me go ill. And that's the list covered. However, I do have 2 honourable mentions that don't appear on the list, but you could justifiably put them on there. Firstly, Rando and his army. We know from Rando himself he wanted peace and wanted nothing to do with the other warlords. He had the biggest army, and to be honest, if he wanted to, he could have slowly cut down the other warlords. He would be top 3, easy peasy. And to be honest, only Big L, Cindy, and Dijk could have been a challenge for him. But we all know Rando is too sweet for this world, and he did nothing wrong. Also, in editing here again, I know this is so random and has nothing to do with the video itself, but I think it's really cool that Brad started off killing off the warlords and Buddy finished it. That's just that's just a detail I never realised. Okay, back to the video. And the second honourable mention goes to Buzzo and the Joy Boys. Not only is Buzzo intensely strong and will kill all of the warlords, even Rando, his gang has some serious influence. Evidence? Look at how many joy mutants there are throughout both games. Motherfucker, there's one in BBB land. Look at how many party members are joy addicts. The boys are so dangerous. They don't need to attack or fight directly. They pass the joy passively, such as leaving it on the floor. They promote it as the best drug. They give it away for free. It's by far the most powerfulest drug ever. On top of that, there's only ever been one cure for it. I know, the Randall army took down most of them, but if they were left alone, it would just be a matter of time before they took over. And that's the video. This was hella fun to make. The lore of Lisa is very underrated. I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on the Warlords. Do you have your own ideas why they're ranked the way they are? Do you agree with the list? Do you agree with my feelings on them? Do you disagree? I want to know. Anywho, see ya.